Hey, this is Nina. Just a quick editor's note before you begin. We recorded this episode on April 8th, the day before UFC 249 was indefinitely postponed. Bearing that in mind, the fights that we are discussing should still be on the table by the time the UFC comes back. Enjoy.
All right, welcome to the No Name MMA show.
April 8th, 2020.
My name is Andy Romero. First one up.
Oh, I'm Nina Hager.
Juan Chavez.
And introducing...
Yo, I'm Kevin Romero.
Kevin, we have you on our show today. Are you excited?
Yes, we do. Yeah, no, really excited. I took a nap and everything.
Nice. So Kevin is Andy's brother and one of the UFC MMA homies. So we're excited for him to join us today. Kevin, we started last week when we introduced everybody by telling everybody our maybe first fight or most favorite memorable first fight. What would you say was yours probably?
It has to be a Lesnar fight, because around that time I was still watching WWE and shit. And I just remember everybody saying, yeah, Lesnar's in fucking UFC, and he's actually kind of good.
Which fight was that?
I think it was the one right before the belt. Because he was gifted a belt within 3 fights. And so, because he won the belt, I think he won the belt the first time against Frank Mir. And then he fought for it again against Kane. But I didn't see either of those fights. I think the first one I saw was, I forgot who the fucking guy was. But the guy...
I think I know which fight you're talking about.
Shane Carwin?
When he came back, whenever he took
I
that...
think so. All of his finishes are in the first round, right? And then Lesnar survived the first round. And then these two giant beasts are just looking at each other, beginning of the second round, smiling and winking. And then Lesnar does what he does, and he just takes him out. Fucking goes for his double leg, and then boom, just takes it home. But yeah, no, that was UFC fight. I didn't even come at it like a UFC fan. I didn't watch the whole card or anything.
Oh, yeah, no. I don't think anybody, when they first started, watched full-on, prelims and the whole 9 yards. We were just like, oh, this shit's kind of cool, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
That guy just got knocked out, and he's stiff as a board.
I like that all of our fights were something different. And actually, this week I thought of a different fight that was probably my most memorable one. But it's cool that we all had a different, big takeaway. Oh, this is actually cool as hell. Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we really, get started and everything, we talked last time about different headlines that were going on with everything. And before that, I gave everybody a quick rundown of what you have to know before any of what we talk about makes a whole lot of sense. So I thought I would do that again today and talk about real fast and quick something that we mentioned but didn't really explain a whole lot about last time. So this is your quick, fast, by the way, fact that you need to know is that along with the UFC, there's this show that's been around forever called The Ultimate Fighter. And it's a reality TV show where contenders go live together in a house, very Survivor style. They fight one another, and the last remaining fighter is going to win the season. That, for example, is what Tony Ferguson, how he came about the UFC. And he was a winner. The winner of The Ultimate Fighter is going to win a 6-figure and a contract with the UFC. So you'll hear us mention that throughout the podcast. He was an Ultimate Fighter champion. And that's kind of what you really need to know before we dig into the current headlines, which have been a lot since we shot our last podcast a week ago.
A week makes a fucking difference. Holy shit. Juan?
That card, that location.
Mm-hmm. There's so much
So
going
is
on.
that location confirmed, Andy? What's the location?
So
You got a location?
it hasn't been confirmed. It has been reported by every MMA media, from MMA Junkie to Bloody Elbow to MMA On
Weekly.
Point, everything, including the New York Times for whatever reason. They have stated that it's supposed to take place in the Tachi Palace Casino in Central California. Along the lines of what I said last week, it's either going to be tribal lands, Florida, or across seas. So it's looking like it's going to be a mix of this place for the people that are closer to the states, and then also a mix of the private island for international fights.
And that's for UFC 249, right?
Correct.
Okay.
As of what we know, again, Dana White says this fight is taking place in ESPN. You can watch it on ESPN.
ESPN, come on the show.
ESPN, come on the show. Dana White, come on the show.
Full Size Run, come on the show.
Let's see.
Who's on the card? Like, since we've last talked, there's been some options. Who are we expecting so far?
Well, one of the news events that just happened, so Rose Namajuanis was supposed to fight against Jessica Andrade. This is going to be their rematch from their first fight where Andrade slammed Rose into Nowheresville and knocked her out.
No.
Rose has pulled out of the fight for unknown reasons. That's pretty much it. It sucks. It's one of the main cards. I think it was going to be like the co-main.
Happened? Well, so that's like news, right? She pulled out of that fight?
Yeah, just about 30 minutes ago or something.
God, what a bummer.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that sucks.
Which I don't think her heart's fully in it. She said in her last interview, or maybe not her last interview, but the last time that she fought, one of those interviews around it, she said that her heart just wasn't in it. Now, granted, she had just lost the championship.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that...
Hey, you gotta think about it, man. They're asking a lot of these fucking fighters, most of these fighters, to come turn up within 2 weeks.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
They just announced the card. They probably got the card organized a week ago, and that's when they let most of the fighters know, okay, we're all down with it.
But
so that gives fighters 3 weeks to cut however much weight they need to cut.
But a lot of these fighters, a lot of these fighters,
they
know what's going on, and like people need something to watch. People need something. They want to be there for the people, and I think that's why a lot of them took it, even without having a training camp. Is that they want to do it and make the world seem normal for a second.
Is that to the risk of it not being the camp that they need, with or without this pandemic? That's what I'm saying.
That's their choice.
That's their choice. I mean, yeah.
It depends on if it's worth it to them.
That's such a good point, because it's like every other card, you're going to have some kind of preparation and something going into it where you can, I guess maybe not for everybody, but that's what makes those fights count a little bit more, is seeing someone who's ready to go no matter what.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of the fighters are saying anyways, like, I'll fight you any day, anywhere, anyhow. And so it's kind of really now putting...
One of the best examples of that is Nate Diaz.
For sure.
He took a fight against Conor McGregor, week notice. Damn.
Well,
we all have his name stapled into our brain. It's not, I mean, yes, we know these fighters are hard, but it's also to the point where it's just like, I mean, yeah, of course I want this shit.
You're asking too much of a fighter at this point?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's where it's just like, it's like, yeah, hell yeah, LeBron's gonna fucking play 10 games in a row right now. It's like we already know that, but it's just to the point where it's just like, is it worth it?
Yeah.
And that, I just think we still haven't seen the aftermath of that. Because, like, imagine how many fighters are going to lose or are not going to make weight.
That's a possibility, but on the other side of that coin, so we were talking about this, and last show it was still up in the air. It hadn't been announced, but Khabib has officially been withdrawn from the main event fight against Tony Ferguson. And what happened was the signed contract between Tony Ferguson versus Justin Gaethje for the interim lightweight championship. Justin Gaethje didn't have a camp. He hadn't planned on fighting anybody, and on 2 weeks' notice, shows up, takes the fight against the scariest dude in the division.
He's given himself 18 to 19 minutes against him. Anything more than that, he thinks Tony's got it. But if he can get a knockout within the first 19 minutes, then great. But Gaethje doesn't think. Once it gets to the later rounds, he doesn't think that he has it.
So why is Gaethje the person that would be the next contender for Tony Ferguson?
Well, he's been on a run. He's been on a...
His last 3 fights are knockouts.
Yeah.
What is he ranked?
Number 4.
Okay.
From there...
Yeah, no, Gaethje's the GOAT.
I think Gaethje, I agree with you. So Gaethje is the man for doing this, but I think the unsung hero is Tony here, just because Gaethje is an animal no matter what.
Yeah.
But Tony had the out. Tony could have been like, "I want to fight Khabib. Why am I fighting you? You're a scrub."
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Tony's the type of guy to be double interim champ.
He would be
like, it's so ridiculous, man. He's defending his interim title, like, and it's not ironic or anything. Like, it's
I know
actually,
that fits Tony perfect.
Yeah.
Like, he manifests the weirdest shit ever, man. Like, I just rewatched the Pettis fight. This dude got dropped, and like his first sense. When he was like, "Oh shit, I'm wrong," guess what he did? He barrel rolled away.
Yeah.
Anthony fucking Pettis.
Yeah.
He's an alien of a man. I mean, but no, yeah. It's so harsh and brutal to think like, it's so real. Like, we can like really get philosophical about it. You know, it's just like, what other fight is more than Ferguson versus Khabib? I can't think of one.
I can't think of one. Not this bad. There's been boxing matches where they've been kind of postponed or whatever. I mean, the closest thing I can think of would be maybe Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao. That's boxing, but that's the closest thing I can think of.
This big rivalry.
Yeah.
I was asking.
It happened. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that fight actually happened.
Yeah.
And like, that's the thing too, man. Like, it's just, will we ever see this fight? I mean, it's like black turns white.
It's breaking up a little bit.
So I was asking Andy too this week. Like, I'm more familiar with Tony Ferguson's fights and what I can expect to see in a fight like his. And I was asking him really too, like, what is like, so Gaethje's up there. He's ranked. He's a number 4, but like, I know only about him that he's really quite like the tough punching bag, and
he is a brawler.
Yeah. So like, what do we have to look forward to with Tony's fighting skills and Gaethje's skill set?
Gaethje is going to stand up the whole time because he doesn't use his wrestling for some reason.
I don't know.
He doesn't use his wrestling. Now, granted, if Tony takes him down, then he might be forced to, but he'll stand up.
But Tony doesn't have wrestling. He has the jiu-jitsu. So that's where if Justin tries to out-wrestle Tony, I feel, this is my personal opinion. My take on it is it becomes a brawl, just like Justin wants it, just like Tony wants it, because he's not going to back away from nobody, not even Ninja Turtles. He is going to come at it, and he's going to drop Tony. Tony's going to fucking pull that magic gardening skills out of his ass, and he's going to trap Justin in a submission in the third.
Well, and like, we were rewatching some of their top fights also leading up to this, which all of our listeners also can do on ESPN Plus.
Buy ESPN Plus, subscribe.
Yeah.
This is not a paid promotion.
This is not paid promotion, but ESPN Plus, come on the show.
But we wanted to be. So.
And like, so So Justin Gaethje is like so tough. He's a punching bag. When he hits, those strikes are really like landing. But Ferguson and his conditioning and cardio is unlike anything else. Tony Ferguson.
I think we'll be blessed if it goes all 5 rounds. Honestly.
Yeah.
I think we have another fight of the year contender in our hands potentially.
No, it's not going long enough.
Over Zhang Wei Li versus Joanna?
Yes, and like I still hold that fight in such high regard, but because they both know how to go fucking deep. You know, they've both been in brutal wars. Like,
but do you think it's gonna go
Gaethje versus Poirier? That shit went up all the way to 4 rounds, and it was back and forth until Poirier clipped him at the end. Yeah, but you know, Gaethje's a dog. And, like, his last 3 wins have been in, like, a really impressive fashion. But we haven't really, ever since his last loss to Bravo and shit, we haven't seen him get, like, grinded down like that. And Ferguson's the guy, man, to do that.
Do you think it's going to last long enough to be Fight of the Year? I don't think it's going to last long enough.
Well,
I don't know.
Tony versus Anthony.
They're too gnarly.
Tony versus Anthony Pettis was a 3-round fight, and that won Fight of the Year.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Well, they only went 2 rounds. Went 2 rounds.
Yeah, but it was a 3
He broke his hand. He broke his hand, and Duke Rufus then sent him out for the 3rd round.
Yeah. So, but it still though, it was scheduled for 3, and it still won Fight of the Year.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That is true.
But Gaethje also gets rocked all the time. All the time, he gets rocked. If he gets to become a champion, I do not think he's going to be a champion for long.
I don't think so either.
Because he just gets rocked.
His fight style is too
dangerous.
Too dangerous. I mean, by his own admission, too. So, but we're all on board on this. We all got Tony here.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Tony wins.
I'm, though, now, like, more satisfied with okay, we're all heartbroken that Khabib and Ferguson aren't fighting. Like, heartbroken in one manner or level or something, but I'm more excited to see Gaethje. I haven't seen him really lead in a fight from the beginning. So
you're talking about like getting hit.
Yeah. I mean, like he'll kind of like take it until it's time to show up. You know, like that's what I mean. So I'm excited to see how he can last to Tony Ferguson, but. Who else is lined up on the card for 249 that we know of that hasn't pulled out?
This Ransom Ngannou fight is going to be nice.
So another notable fight on that card, Francis Ngannou versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik. That got added in. I believe it's the first. I don't know how the card is actually going to work. Usually it's like the 5 or 6 for a main card, but it's looking like this whole thing is going to be on one pay-per-view event. But yeah, for that one, I'm just thinking that Francis is going to outclass him striking, and Jairzinho is going to be put to sleep.
I don't know. They both hit hard. Literally, both of them, one hit. It could be. That's it. I don't know.
I mean, that's
true. I don't know who to go.
I'm going Francis.
I've seen Francis knock out more people, but that's only because I've seen more fights. By him. I haven't seen, but I can't pronounce the other guy.
That's true. I just think that Rozenstruik, from my perspective, I don't think Rozenstruik won his last fight. It was against
that guy who.
It was against Alistair Overeem.
Oh, no.
So Alistair Overeem was destroying Jairzinho pretty much the entire fight, and Rozenstruik hit him with the overhand right from hell. And destroyed his lip. It was a pretty gnarly accident. From there, though, Rozenstruik landed the shot and then walked away. And Dan Mergliotta, who is the ref, started looking at Rozenstruik instead of looking at Overeem. And he called the fight because Rozenstruik started celebrating. And I think that had he not done that and he had let the fight continue, I'm pretty confident Overeem would have won that card.
I remember that cut. It was like almost like Robbie Lawler's.
Yeah, no, it was a lot worse. It was like a chunk.
I thought Robbie Lawler's was worse.
Robbie Lawler's was a straight cut. Overeem's was like a chunk missing. Like there was a straight up chunk from the lip missing.
Dang.
What else is going on other than what we found out about?
Flyweight division.
Yeah.
So, in flyweight division news and bantamweight news, TJ Dillashaw announced that he had been promised by somebody in the UFC, I'm assuming Dana White, that upon his return from suspension, he was suspended because he got popped with EPO after the Henry Cejudo fight. He stated that once he returns, he would get first crack at whoever's champion. I'm assuming in either division, so 125 or 135.
Do you think that's true?
I think it's true. I think I don't. I think I don't give a fuck. I think like you take EPO, you're a danger to people because obviously you're more dangerous. It's like no, you should be unranked, the lowest piece of trash, and work your way up.
And you got popped at that championship fight, so your whole credibility for your climb up the ladder is questionable now.
For those who don't know what EPO is,
yeah,
what it does, it allows you to intake more oxygen as you go harder and harder, so that you're less likely to become tired and your cardio is so much better.
A famous user of EPO is Lance Armstrong, the guy who won Tour de France, 7 times?
I don't know, like a lot of times.
I don't know. Fuck Lance Armstrong too.
No,
fuck them both.
Lance Armstrong, we love you. We come on the show.
Come on the show.
Why are you trying to get that Armstrong plug?
Bro, this is a plug. Anyway, from there, TJ's arch nemesis, Cody Garbrandt, so they had a famous falling out. They were in the same gym, Team Alpha Male.
What gym?
Team Alpha Male.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And then TJ Dillashaw left that gym. From there, they, were just mad at each other for whatever. He stated that he is, after his next fight, I forgot who it's against, he plans on moving down to 125 to really make the flyweight division great again.
Who's the champion in the flyweight?
That's where there is nobody. So,
okay.
We have...
It's Henry. It's Henry.
Henry.
I don't want to hear it.
So Henry Cejudo is the only champion that defended his title without fighting. So that's another plus for Henry Cejudo.
That's ridiculous. This has like a action, like a real silly action figure, dude. Like
he's a WWE star and the UFC. That's freaking great.
Yeah,
he's like yeah, but he's like your least favorite one,
Henry Cejudo, though, is like the most legitimate athlete in the sense of being a gold-winning Olympian for the U.S. in wrestling, but he also has like the kookiest character. Like he's like the most awkward like screen person, when you're listening to him and watching him on Instagram or in his interviews, like he's putting on a show and it is an amateur show when you watch him outside of the ring.
But what I love about him is that like his confidence is real.
True.
Like
his
it's just like Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
Like, whenever they talk, they fully believe. They fully
and they show up. They're not shooting whatever out your butt. Like it's true matter that's coming out of what they're doing. They're just like. Well, Henry's just a goofy dude, like sleeping on the airplanes, flying to the fights with his belts, covering him up is like, he's a fun person to watch on social media for sure.
Henry, come on the show.
Henry, come on the show. We love you.
Henry, come on the show.
In other bantamweight news, Dominic Cruz stated, keep in mind, this was as of Saturday, I believe, that he wanted pretty much a tune-up fight going into the division again. He wanted to face either Aljamain Sterling or Piotr Yang. Piotr Yang had a take. He said, when speaking to MMA Junkie, I prefer that we fight after he proves that he can have a fight camp without being injured and he can still win at that top level. He also stated, reality is that I have more wins than him, and I have been in this organization less than 2 years.
Yeah.
As of, I believe, yesterday, that was Tuesday, April the 7th, Dominic Cruz stated that if Jose Aldo is unable to fight Henry Cejudo at UFC 250, he is more than willing to hop in.
Which I have heard that Aldo is for sure not fighting, but I don't know if that's true or not.
From what I've seen in media, I haven't seen anything that suggests that he won't be able to.
Mm-hmm.
I know that Dana is trying to fly him out and Shogun Rua to the States. That way they are more readily available to fight. I'm assuming it's going to be in that mythical fight island that he is purchasing or acquiring or whatever.
I wonder who the commission's going to be.
I have no idea. I don't even know who the refs are going to be. They're going to be fucking virtual at this point. I don't know.
Ooh, Joe Rogan, though. Joe Rogan could be the ref.
Yeah. Have we talked about who has agreed to commentating and announcing during?
Yeah, so the last show we stated that Joe Rogan was like, this fight is cursed, I'm not gonna commentate it. I don't know what Dana pulled, but he changed Joe Rogan's mind real quick. So it looks like we're gonna have the whole commentating team is gonna be back. So that is
gonna do it?
Yep. He said that
what a monster.
He is gonna bring his Lysol and mask and gloves, and he's gonna be there too because he needs that bread. So we're looking at John Anik, Joe Rogan, DC, that is the commentating team
for the trio. That's the ultimate trio
and then,
of commentators.
Bruce Buffer, I believe last week I mentioned, he said that he has announced a card on one leg before, and he is not going to miss this for the world. So he's going to be there.
Bruce is such a gangster. He is my first, maybe, and most favorite UFC element. Bruce.
Well, all his suits are on point. Bruce,
come on the show.
Come on the show.
Another thing mentioned is the UFC 250 card. It was supposed to be Henry Cejudo versus Jose Aldo. That's still to be determined. Another notable fight that was supposed to take place on that card was Amanda Nunes versus Felicia Spencer for the featherweight title. Moving on from those fighters into light heavyweight news, Anthony Smith, former contender, fought John Jones. He had a home intruder come in. He called it the scariest fight of his life. Of course, John Jones had a hot take on it, saying that had it been in his house, the intruder would not have been able to walk away.
Because he's shooting off illegal guns or something? Or John Jones, what?
Maybe doing coke. Maybe
John Jones. Because maybe you were at home.
Maybe doing steroids to beat this guy.
Yeah. Let's just take this. Let's take this nice. This team is to just shit all over this man. Hey, no, man. You know what? John. That's annoying that he said that. I didn't know he said that. But I think I've come to my conclusion. He's the GOAT. Sure, whatever. But he's not the GOAT we deserve, but I guess he's the GOAT we kind of need.
That's good.
In other light heavyweight news, Alexander Gustafsson, the person who would be the GOAT if it weren't for John Jones or Daniel Cormier, he said that he is still possibly ready to fight still. He says that he has 3 more years, and who knows if the matchups make sense, he might still be willing to come back.
He said he can't
say Alexander
no.
Gustafsson.
He said he can't say no, and he can't say yes either.
That man needs to fucking retire.
No, that man needs to fight. I love
Alexander Gustafsson?
I loved watching him fight.
No, his last fight was dope. He was lighting him up, but then dude, DC is like
no, Gustafsson. We're talking about Gustafsson.
Gustafsson. Oh shit, my bad. Gustafsson. I'd love to see a Gustafsson fight. Fuck it.
Who would your dream matchup for Gustafsson be?
Anybody in the top 5. Anybody in the top 5. It's a dope fight. And he deserves it too, dude. That's Gustafsson, man. And I don't even know any light heavyweights like that from ranking number 6 to number 10. Can y'all name like any of them? Because I don't know any of them.
No, that division's weak.
And that's what I'm saying. Gustafson, and like if you wanna turn that shit up, give Gustafson the top 5 spot. You know what I'm saying?
That division is a lot better than what it used to be because we didn't have Thiago, we didn't have Lionheart, we didn't have Reyes.
I mean, it's better now. I'll give you that. It's better now. But I mean, if we're talking about great light heavyweight, divisions, we can take it back as far as Chuck Liddell, Tito Ortiz. There was everybody and everyone in that division. To say it's weak now, it's not to say that there's not great fighters.
That's just the season we're in right now.
Yeah.
But my pick would be Thiago Santos get a rematch with John Jones. Gustafson versus Reyes, the winner of that one.
What about Anthony Smith?
Is his hand healed?
I think he is. I think he's scheduled to fight.
Yeah, he's fighting somebody. He's fighting.
Is it Glover?
Yeah,
Glover Teixeira.
Yeah. Is he fighting Teixeira? I thought he was fighting that other fool, that Russian fool.
John Blachowicz. Yeah, we
no,
keep
he's not fighting Blachowicz.
He's not fighting him. He's for sure not fighting him.
Damn, my boy John is getting left out.
Is he the guy who got shot?
No, that's John is the Polish terror. Remember?
Yes.
The one who knocked out Luke
Rockhold. Yeah.
Polish pride.
Luke is another person I would have been on that show.
Moving on from the light heavyweights. Well, not really, but
Luke, come on the show.
Thiago Santos has stated that he wants an interim fight with Dominic Reyes because John Jones should be stripped. Do you agree?
Who wants to fight with Dominic Reyes?
Thiago Santos. Kevin?
No, that fool needs to fight for a contender fight, not no fucking interim fight. The fuck? Why?
Because John Jones got a DUI and shot a gun near homeless people, probably.
Yeah, and Thiago Santos
did not.
Should have beat him. Thiago Santos should have beat him.
And he did his shit. Look, dude, the only way John's gonna learn his lesson is if he gets serious time. And he didn't get serious time.
He'll never get serious.
He'll never get serious.
Yeah, again, he did not give serious time.
Yeah, I know. I'm just as shocked too. But DC hit the nail on the fucking head. He said, dude, don't be surprised when I don't know if this is verbatim, but he said somewhere along the line, don't be surprised if he does this again. Because this sentence that he got was bullshit. I'm pretty sure he got babied up because fucking, I don't know the politics of it, but if there were to be any other individuals that's repeating the same offenses, they would get a much harsher sentence. I guarantee it. And John got away, dude. And that's the thing. He's going to continue doing these antics, and he's going to continue being the top of the food chain until something, until his behavior changes. And the only way that's going to happen is if he gets some serious time. But, no, I don't think he should be stripped of his belt for that. The only way you need to take that man's belt is by beating him. And that's going to be his legend. That's going to be his legacy. So, no. That fool needs to fight for a contender fight. Not no fucking interim belt. He just wants more money.
Fair. That's fair.
Hello?
We can still hear you.
But Thiago Santos and what's his face? Dominic Reyes were the closest. Not even Lionheart. Came close
Lionheart
to
got murked.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Lionheart also got an illegal strike while he was on the floor. He got kicked in the face.
In what, the 4th round when he was already losing?
I think it was earlier on. It was before he got hurt. At
the end of the 3rd or 4th. It was like at the end. Dude, regardless, even if that weren't to happen, that strike was inches from being illegal, dude.
He kicked him in the face.
No, it was 100% illegal. 100%.
It was a
was
kick.
It was a kick. One knee, right?
No. So that happened. That did happen. But I'm talking about before. So Anthony Smith was on the ground, and in the cameras, you see Herb Dean, which is another ref of the UFC. He's getting in front of them, and as he's getting in front of them, John Jones kicks Anthony Smith. He's trying to kick him in the stomach or a leg, but he misses and he kicks him square in the jaw. on his
I
back.
haven't seen this. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Can I give you guys one quick funny little reference about Herb?
Go ahead.
Herb Dean was recently in the newest Demi Lovato music video.
Really?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What a man. He don't care.
She
Herb
like
Dean,
trains
come on the show.
Herb Dean, come on the
MMA.
show.
Demi Lovato, come on the show. That's it. Next.
Is this her comeback video from all that heroin she did?
Yeah, I mean, she was like, I don't know if it was heroin, but she was out again for a little bit, and then this is her comeback video. Her newest single, though, Herb Dean, was in it, like, reffing for her fight scene, which was cool, because whatever.
Fighting heroin.
All right.
Moving on from John Jones, DUIs, heroin, Herb Dean, and Demi Lovato. Good news. Darren Till had a baby girl. His third little girl, welcoming into the world, Raya Lily Till. Darren Till was scheduled to fight Robert Whittaker in August. Hopefully that still happens. And the last little bit.
Didn't Robert Whittaker pull out?
That was before. So that was when Robert Whittaker was scheduled to fight Jared Cannonier. Robert Whittaker pulled out because he had to donate bone marrow for his daughter. And then Darren Till was going to fight Jared Cannonier, and he couldn't get a visa to fight him. And then Jared Cannonier dropped out, and it was a whole fucking shit show.
People dropping out.
Yep. But Darren Till, come on the show.
Darren
Till,
Till, we love your Instagram and your social media also.
Oh, yeah. If you got to follow two people on Instagram that are UFC fighters, follow the Black Beast and follow Darren Till.
Oh, I was also going to say Max Holloway.
Oh, yeah, Max Holloway.
Yeah, he puts
come
up
on the
good-
show.
Yeah, I love, like, there are certain fighters that you literally just become more of a fan of when you follow them on their social medias, because you really do start to see some of their fun personality and, like, what makes them someone you want to root for outside of things like this, like stats that you hear or only fights that you're watching. Darren Till's, like, climbing his way up the ranks of that.
All right. I want to say from everybody here, that is the end of the show. Thank you, Kevin, for coming on and giving your opinion, even though it sucks. From me, my lovely girlfriend,
Nina,
my friend,
Juan.
And who are we talking to on this ghetto-ass phone?
Are y'all talking to me? Yeah, it's Kevin. What's up? Yep.
We want to say thank you. Like, subscribe, repost, share, all the shit. Listen.
Come on the show.
Even if you don't subscribe, at least tell people about us. Get us out there.
Give us a like. Give us a comment. Let us know what you want to hear us talk about next time. We're super into keeping up with the headlines, but also we're interested in looking into some maybe older fights and certain fighters and things too. So shoot us an email at nonamemmashow@gmail.com.
Follow us on Instagram at no.mma.show. And yeah, DM us, do the whole thing. Don't send me a dick pic. From everybody, thank you for listening. Bye.